So let's just see some basic facts about the habitat types that we have identified in the area. Rocky formation, reefs, and when I'm saying reefs and habitat types, of course, I'm not referring to just the geological structure of this, but I'm referring to the whole biotic community that these structures host. So the habitat type 1170, as is known through the Habitats Directive, reefs, which are any rocky formations, submerged rocky formations, cover about 70% of the inner rim coastline and were the dominant underwater habitat in the caldera, most typically consisting of steep sloping cliffs, very dramatic and very impressive, or continuous rocky platforms, outcrops, or variously sized boulders. These dramatic underwater cliffs that I mentioned before, they can be as impressive as, sloping down to 200 meters depth in only very short distances from the coast. A fact that is very typical and characteristic, especially in the caldera's north and west basin. So you can see some really unique and highly appealing submarine geological structures and seascapes, like these platforms in Thirasia Island, or these labyrinthine structures in Aspronisi Island. These are quite unique, really. So some highlights about the biotic communities of these reefs. Quite interesting marine diversity has been revealed, mostly featuring various sponges, some quite colorful and very nice structures, and mostly developing at the caldera's twilight zone that is deeper than 30 meters depth. Also, very unique to this area, and especially the islets of Nea and Paleokameni, shallow rocks and boulders, mostly lava structures here in these islands, appear here in the color of rust, which is owed to iron oxidizing bacteria that thrive in iron-rich environments, such as the islet's popular thermal springs. So I think that it is very important to say that this is a very, very distinct and unique characteristic to this area. But now, coming to the pressures, we have to stress that, notwithstanding these breathtaking sceneries, caldera reefs across heights and depths presented highly degraded biotic phases, rather than the rich algal forests that one used to thrive in the area. Only ephemeral low turf algae and, of course, various alien species. Well, I think that is not only restricted in Santorini, but the whole Cyclades and southern Aegean seas these days are now the norm. So this is a sad result of the combined pressures of climate change and long-term overfishing, as we have previously argued in reports and the scientific literature. Now, moving on, another very important habitat type was found to be quite characteristic, was the second most dominant, although, caldera is quite deep, and so it not really favors the occurrence of extensive seagrass meadows, and still they were quite common in most shallow parts of the caldera, and were especially found to fringe the Akrotiri Peninsula in Thira, South Aspronisi Island, and parts of the base of Agirini and Corfu in Thirasia Islands at depths between 3 and 25 meters. Also present in lower cover, another seagrass, Chimodosia nodosa, was associated with Posidonia meadows. And I have to say, Posidonia meadows are one of the most important, most productive marine ecosystems worldwide, and of high European conservation priority. So here again, this out of sight, out of mind phenomenon was unfortunately emerges when you put your head underwater. So what we're seeing here is uncontrolled anchoring and arbitrary placement of numerous non-ecological safe moorings of Posidonia on Posidonian meadows. And we can see that this is a very bad practice, quite sad finding, but hopefully something that is reversible and can be managed successfully if one really wants to deal with this issue. So here is one, I hope, helpful output from Mona, a first grid map actually of the most important habitat types that you can find in this region. Now I have to stress that it's not like you cannot find habitat types in the outer side, but this is the study area of Mona, and this is what we're presenting now. So this is something that we hope that can be used for marine spatial planning issues, which are also very important and need to be taken into consideration. So that was just the most important findings, and I just want to leave you with the take-home message. Santorini Island, despite its exceptional natural beauty, enjoys no level of marine protection. And although a Natura 2000 site of community importance covers its mountainous southeast side and the uninhabited rocky islets of the volcanic caldera, none of its marine habitats have been included in this designation, a fact clearly reflected in their poor ecological status. Local initiatives and administrative appeals to the Ministry of the Environment and the Ministry of Food and Rural Development for enhancing marine protection in the island have not to this day been considered, despite strong stakeholders' support. But this is another story that I will leave to the next presenter. So I really want to thank very much the Atlantis Diving Center for the support, and all of you for being here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salomidi, for this excellent presentation and useful information. Lastly, let's go meet and welcome Mr. Vangelis Parabas, biologist, PhD candidate, molecular biology and genetics department of Democritus University of Thrace. Mr. Parabas, welcome.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. It's glad to be here and seeing so many people, so very, very interesting presentations and a lot of colleagues that we have been working together for many years for the protection of Santorini. Please tell me if you can see my screen now.
We can see your screen perfect, yes.
Okay, so I can start my presentation, right?
Exactly.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that this is a presentation regarding a bottom-up initiative, as you can see on my title. It's a collective work that has been carried out for more than a decade and started and supported by nearly all stakeholders in Santorini, fishers, local community, diving centers, conservationists. Everybody has supported this initiative in order to move forward and achieve a protected area for the waters of Santorini. And of course, I cannot put them all in the title, but this is something that I would like to stress out. So it has been already highlighted and well discussed that Santorini is a very renowned destination. So it's of an island of unparalleled beauty and a unique environment, also regarding its natural environment. However, there is actually no level of marine protection at the moment. As Dr. Salomidi already mentioned, there is no protected area surrounding the waters of Santorini. There was an initiative some 5 years ago that a proposal to designate the waters surrounding Santorini as a Marine Natura 2000 area, but unfortunately this was not accepted by the ministry. However, as clearly evident by previous and current research, the marine natural environment is very important. There are a lot of problems and threats threatening this environment and should be protected with existing legal tools. And of course, there are so many pressures that are leading and resulting in tremendous ecosystem degradation. So, taking also into account that Santorini is visited by so many people, bringing all these threats and pressures in extremes, we need to endeavor and find new developmental approaches in order to achieve a sustainable environment and protected environment and preserve marine habitats and species that not only constitute the natural habitats and environments, but also constitute the livelihoods of a significant stakeholder, which are the fishers, the small-scale fishers of Santorini and the Cyclades in general. I'll give some information about the, let's say, history of our initiative, which started back in 2010 when Kunsto divers, in collaboration with local diving centers, were the first to initiate a discussion on potential creation of marine protected area in Santorini. After those years, many things have been achieved and implemented, but also not, let's say, accomplished. One of the most important things is that overfishing is a fact for Santorini and the Cyclades and the Aegean Sea. It has depleted nearshore waters in Greece and the Cyclades. This has been very clearly documented in the scientific literature, and also this has led to not only the decline of fish stocks, but also a huge impact in marine habitats, as Dr. Salomidi has highlighted before. The solution for this is the establishment of no-take marine protected areas. When we say no-take areas, we actually mean areas that fisheries and fishing is not allowed, in order to allow the recovery of the ecosystems, so as to bring them in a previous condition where they are healthy and they can contribute to the stability and resilience. And this is also a fact, that establishing a marine protected area and no fishing zones, this can lead quite rapidly in some cases in the restoration of the marine ecosystems, as you can see also in this diagram over here, especially in terms of marine biomass for species. During 2012, the first initiative started to establish a baseline on the status of what's going on exactly on the marine area of Santorini. So a rapid assessment has been carried out by HCMR, the Hellenic Center for Marine Research, where several spots were investigated with fieldwork. In collaboration with the fishermen, 2 areas were identified. The first was the Perissa Rock, and the other one was the Akrotiri Peninsula, as you can see also in the map. Sampling was carried out during October 2012, and a lot of work has been carried out in order to assess the status of the environment. Major issues that were covered through the study. There was an effort to assess fish biodiversity and population structure, the structure and ecological assessment of the coastal reefs, also Poseidonia meadows, as well as diversity of habitats, and of course to see what threats and pressures are mostly evident in the area.